Hey, welcome back to Nick Fick Locks. Tonight, I thought I would make a challenge lock on camera. I've been making a lot of challenge locks here lately. This is the most recent one. It's called Heinz 235. Yeah. Trap pins, like the Heinz key system for Seagal, but in a Mark's Schleg kick. So, and that one is going to loose shirt. But I've been making a lot, and people have talked about how quick I seem to be able to make them. So I thought I'd make one on camera, and we could do that. This is a Sergeant mortise here. I went ahead and gutted it and everything. Took these standard key pins and just threw those to the side. I'm calling this one "Are You Winning, Son?" So that only thing I need to do engraving wise on it still is to put my name on the back here. But we got the core. I was going to do some stuff here on the face of it. You can see I kind of started it here. It was going to, or my original idea was when it is locked, it would say no. And then whether you picked it clockwise or counterclockwise at 90 degrees, it would say yes for both directions. But the face of the lock here, you can see it's kind of got looks like stains. I don't know what kind of coating or something is on this, but it was chipping and flaking. I guess they did that to give it more of a chrome look, but the engraving just wasn't going to go with that. So I scrapped the idea. But we can still make all the pins and everything. So I have a bunch of Dremel attachments here that I'm not going to be using at all for my pins. What we will be using is the jeweler saw, some needle files, some sandpaper, 1,000 grit sponge, and it's really it. Sometimes I'll use this carbide tip scribe, but I haven't really used that in a while. We will use the Dremel bits when I go to make the core mods. So yeah, you can see it's flaking off of something with this. I don't know. But yeah. And the core itself is brass. Whatever. So, but I have a brass rod here, rod stock, that I'll be using to make the pins. So we'll let's think here. All right. Oh, the cool thing about these are all of our drivers are tapered from the get-go. So that's neat. Something you can keep in mind if you don't want to mod the key pins here. So, but I'm probably going to mute a good portion of this because it's going to be loud when this Dremel's running. But yeah, I don't know. I'll talk in between here. So let's take a look at key pin 1. Drop that in. Don't have a whole lot of space to work with, but we got some. So what we'll do is we'll do something with a T-pin bottom on it there. All right. Well, zoom out. There we go. Okay. Okay. So this one is done. I'm gonna focus, maybe, sort of, kind of. There we go. So got our little T-pin type top or bottom there. Got some spools, serrations cut into it. So now what I like to do is after I make a pin, I like to set it in there and make sure that my eyeballing of where stuff falls is right. So I made this one a little too big, but it still works the same. We're catching that bottom gap down there in it, and then that T-pin bottom will work just fine. So that's pin 1. All right, pin 2, we have a lot more space to work with on it. You can see it down in there. So we'll do a gin here in this one. And I'm just using the 1,000 grit sponge to kind of clean it up at the end there. So, but yeah, we'll make a gin on this one. And then we'll do an undercut in the core. So that's pin number 2. So you kind of got a little gin head there, and then we got a little spool area, and then an unintentional wafer floating down there at the bottom. Super thin. But now we'll drop that down in the core. And here we go. That's what we want. So I try to eyeball it. I'm going to get that little ring off here. Try to eyeball it as best I can because I don't want these drivers to be any longer than they need to be for interacting with the core and the Bible. There we go. Get that ring off. And that's perfect. That is exactly what I'm shooting for. Just enough to come out to catch the Bible. So that's 2. All right, 3 is another long pin or lower lift, so we don't have a whole lot of room to work with, but we can probably do some type of small mushroom. So we'll do that. How'd you know? You scared of the thunder? Yeah. All right. So we've got this little mushroom pellet looking thing. I'll drop that. So core 3. That's pretty good. Got a little wobble on it. Could have been shorter. All right. 4. Oh, here, actually, let's look here. And I'll do this sometimes too. Okay. So I'm going to put this one in stack 4, actually. That mushroom we just made. I like the way it turned out for 4. And 5, we got a lot of space to work with. 6, not a whole lot. And 3, not a whole lot. Okay. So let's see here. Let's go with 3 gives us more room than 5. I think. I don't know. Nope. Okay. All right. So here, let's go ahead and make 5. Let's make a serrated pin here, something like you'd find in the one of the Gedge or GG locks. I don't know how you say it, but do something along those lines. All right. So now we have this little serrated pin, some larger serrations in it. Let's see, what's that look like here? That works. It's actually going to start right on that highest serration. So that's good. All right, so that's 5. Yeah, that's tapered. And I put a little bit of a taper on the end of that as well. Okay. Yeah. See that? All right. All right. Here. Let's do let's make a rounded pin. Put a rounded pin in 6. All right. That just fell, so where's my big light? Yeah, here we go. Cool. Okay. Found that one. Little rounded, serrated thing here. Almost like a bullet. It's still a little, it's too big, but serrations won't even come into play at all on this one. So, but because of that rounded end, it wants to wobble, which then can also lead to a taper effect where it's going to want to fall back in. Kind of starts right there on that first serration, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and put that one in. 3. All right, so last pen, pen 6. And yeah, we'll do that. Okay. All right, show that one to you. So another little like T-pin type thing here. And there. And yeah, it'll start that top gap, which is good. Well, it works. Okay, now let's see. We've got these high lifts in 1, 3, and 6. All right, so 3's got that taper, so we can try to do an overlift type thing here in it. Don't really have a whole lot. We can make that taper more pronounced here in this key pin. There we go. Okay, so I changed my mind partway through that and decided just to kind of taper the whole thing and give it somewhat of a much smaller diameter at the top. Let's add some serrations here on one. I think that'll pair well with. All right, so just added some serrations here on it. And we'll leave 6 alone. We won't mess with 6. We'll move on to the core. Those are all done. Bring these bad boys over here. All right, what do we say? We're doing 2's a gen. Okay. So let me find. We'll need that. It's not that one. There it is. That's the one I want. That's it. There we go. Okay, so I have this bit here. And what I do is I'll go into the pin stack here and just kind of start making a cut, and then I'll expand that cut. And we're doing this in 2. Okay. All right. That's looking fairly decent there. So then I'll take my pen and check it. Is it large enough? Did I make the hole big enough for that to catch in? And we did. So that's what we want. Now we just repeat it on the other side. All right. This one looks not as good, but it's decent. So let me check that side. Yep, we're good there. All right. Now, after I do that, because you probably saw me slip a few times, take this diamond coated rod and just kind of run it down in there and pull it out, just to get rid of any burrs or anything that are going to impede the movement of our key pins in the lock. Check it. And where's my key? That works well. That's what I want. I want it to fall out. All right. Let's see here on here. Let's go on 5. We'll add some thread without actually tapping it. Same thing, same bit. Looks good. Give it a little brush. Yeah, because we don't want anything too deep or crazy, just enough for the serrations to kind of bite on it a little bit. So we get that. Cool. And what we got? Three's got that all taper. We could be mean and widen it. Can put a taper in 4, a undercut in 4 as well. We won't worry about that though. Yeah, we're not going to worry about that. Let's do some serrations in 1. We'll do serrations in 1 and that'll be it. Looks good to me. All right, so I'm going to call this one done now. So we'll get it pinned up. These put away somewhat. And tweezers. So one of the nice things about these mortise locks like this, I'm going to give a follower. We'll clean that up a bit. So one way that you can kind of clean it up, and I find that it really helps with the smoothness of the lock, is I'll take the follower for the 1100 or 7240, wrap it in, I guess is 320. This is 320 grit, and just kind of run it in there, give it a little twist around, and pull it in and out. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now let's do this. 3, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 4. That. This one was 5. Yeah. Make sure I put them in the correct way. There we go. 6. There we go. Get a hold of it. There we go. 2. And 1. Now, I find that typically the first time that I try to use the lock without a key, or with the key, that things tend to get a little, they'll catch a little bit. There we go. And you just gotta kind of work it, and eventually everything goes smooth. But I'll probably run the key in and out and work the core back and forth, opening it a dozen times or so before I send it out to anybody to make sure the key works smooth. All right. Get our key. Key goes in. Lock turns. You see it kind of catches a little, but the more we work it, the better it'll get. Work it both ways. But yeah, there we go. That's the lock. I'm gonna call that done. So what do we got here? 49 minutes. And we talked for a few minutes beforehand, so we'll just say 45 minutes. 45 minutes minus the engraving that I did on the front of it. And we have a challenge lock. So all I need to do now is I'll engrave my name and sign here on the back and send it out. Here's key bitting. Mix of highs and lows. Zoom in on that a little bit better. Yeah. Are you winning, son? Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it or learned something. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below and I will answer them to the best of my ability, or make another video trying to explain that in more detail. And if nobody told you, you matter, you're important, and I'm glad you're here. You all have a good one.
Juno, you want to subscribe?